Heinzerling and Nolan Julian here with us as for Breakthrough Houston. And as many of you know, they're an emerging, significant, and wonderful partner of ours, and we're a partner of theirs in our efforts to battle poverty through educational advancement. And Kathy has spent literally an entire glorious career working in the realm of education. We're lucky to get to work with her. And Nolan, we're fortunate to get to meet you tonight, and we're excited for y'all to take a few minutes and tell us about this great opportunity for summer teaching mentors, teaching fellows with Breakthrough Houston. So take it away. And yes, I saw the email about sharing screens, and you just tell us whatever you want to do, and we're on board.
Okay, yes. Hi, y'all. My name's Nolan. I have been a part of Breakthrough since 2017. I'm super excited to start this summer as program director for the Gregory Lincoln site. So I'm trying to share my screen, and it says host disabled participant screen sharing. So I don't know if I could be given access really quickly. And then
yes, you should have it now. Bear with me, my computer's a little slow, but it should be coming your way.
I got it. Okay.
There we go.
Do the line. Can y'all see my screen? It's like I feel like it's the pivotal Zoom line. Okay. Let me press present, and then we'll get into it. Okay. So y'all, we're coming up on summer 2021, and we want you all to come to Breakthrough. Spend a summer teaching, spend a lifetime learning, and come teach with us. So the way that Breakthrough is broken down, the way that Breakthrough is broken down is that we have rigorous academic programming during the summer months. And then we add that with motivated, under-resourced middle school students and high-performing college students as teachers. So that would be teachers like you all coming in to create the beautiful program that is Breakthrough. So first and foremost, our students are amazing. I will brag about them until I'm blue in the face. I don't think I can even turn blue in the face, but I will brag about them because they are lovers of learning, and they really are enthusiastic when they come to program. You're gonna learn and practice with real leaders like yourselves, with practicing leadership and getting some real-time practice. You're gonna learn how to teach. The coaching is absolutely unparalleled, and your peer group will amaze you. These are definitely 5 things that you will gain being a part of the Breakthrough family. So just a little bit about our teaching fellow demographics. 92% of our teachers are teachers of color. 83% are non-education majors. 59% are first-gen college students. 18% are returning teaching fellows, and 17% are STEM majors. 88% of our teaching fellows are more interested in a career of education after Breakthrough. Speaking from experience, as a teaching fellow going in, I did not know if education was for me. And after my summer at Breakthrough, there was nothing else that I could think of myself doing. So it's definitely an impactful summer. And it's definitely something that even if you're not sure if education is the path for you, you definitely should still take a look at applying to be part of the Breakthrough family. So let's talk about how you apply. Application is live online. They opened up November 19th. And our next deadline coming up is February 25th. So you'll be in the process. It's a process of an interview. You'll submit your application, an interview. You'll submit a mock teaching video, and you would have your decision by the week of April 12th. So when we talk about, one thing at a time. Here we go. When we talk about our application, there's a couple of big pieces that I want to mention. Our program dates, which will be June 7th to August 4th. Now, you won't be teaching that entire time. The first 2 weeks is a teacher training session where we get you geared up, put some tools in your toolkit to prepare you for the summer. Then we have our actual programming with students for weeks 3 through 8. And then our last week is a wrap up and reflection. You're able to really just reflect on your time, what you've learned, and wrap up the summer as a team. And also our stipend is as follows. So you will have a base stipend of $2,300. And then in addition to that, because we are now partnering with AmeriCorps, you'll receive a $1,600 AmeriCorps grant that you will have access to use towards future educational endeavors. If you don't know a lot about AmeriCorps, there's definitely a lot of resources online. And if you have individual questions, feel free to either drop those in the chat or we can answer them as they pop up. And then we also have teaching assistant programs, which wouldn't apply to you all because you all are college students, but those are high school students that we actually hire to help us with program. So with AmeriCorps, this is our first summer that we're going to be working with AmeriCorps. And the perk again is that additional $1,600 that can be used for undergraduate or graduate school tuition and repayment of eligible school loans. So it's a lot of paperwork and just a lot more of a nitty-gritty attention to detail, but there's not going to be a lot more weight on your part outside of the regular requirements that come in the job description of a teaching fellow. And I know I'm talking really quickly. I'm trying to be respectful of time, but just to wrap up here, we have a quote from a Gregory Lincoln student. I decided to go to Breakthrough because I wanted to keep learning over the summer. I didn't want to stay home and do nothing. I wanted to do something positive. No school I've ever gone to gives this type of excitement to the kids. The teachers want to interact with us as friends and also try to make the lessons fun. So absolutely everything that Gerson is saying, I can reiterate, I can support. Kids love their Breakthrough summers. They cheer, they cry, they love you. It's a great dynamic time. And we would love for you all to apply and be part of the family. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And then if there's any quick questions,
Yeah, Nolan, put your information, your email address in the chat.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you have any questions, please reach out.
Questions right now?
I want to be respectful of time. So if there's like maybe one or two quick questions, we can go ahead and I can answer them really quickly. And then if there's anything else, I'm dropping my info in the chat right now.
So Nolan, again, how much would the stipend be for being a teaching fellow?
So the stipend is $2,300 in your pocket during the summer, and then you'll have access to an additional $1,600 of AmeriCorps scholarship money that you would have access to after the conclusion of the program.
Yeah. So looking like $4,000. Sounds like fantastic work.
Big bucks, no whammies. Okay. Is this program in person or virtual? So currently we are looking at a hybrid model, which would have you both in person and virtual at different times. But because you are a teacher, most likely you would be in person the whole time. You would just be teaching different groups of students to accommodate for our social distancing norms that we're going to try to maintain during the summer. Yes, so you will, good question, Jacob. So you will, once you apply in the application process, you actually have several different subjects that we give you the options that you would feel comfortable teaching, that you straight up don't want to teach. We focus on a core curriculum of math, English, science, and yes, math, English, and science. And so, and literature, there we go. Writing, literature, science, and math. And so you would pull from those 4 subjects. And we also have electives as well that range from speech and debate, drama, current events. It's different things outside of the classroom that also enrich students' learning We've also had like coding, if that's things that you are into. So there's times outside of those core curriculum classes that you'll be able to interact with students. Yep. Thank you, Kathy.
Awesome. No, and thank you so much for this information.
No problem. So I put my email and my phone number in the chat. Feel free to shoot any questions my way if anything pops up, or if you need help navigating the application, but we hope to see y'all's applications roll in.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for.
Yeah, I want to thank
Kelly.
you, Dr. Irving, for allowing us to come in. We're really excited to be able to speak to your Bonner Scholars, and we know you come from a great place. So we hope to have some of your applications, and we're really enjoying our partnership with U of H Honors and the Bonner program. Thanks so much.
Gosh, we're the lucky ones. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Okay, so for a little context, I don't know how well we can explain that is a summer opportunity. It's not just for education majors, and it's an opportunity for any of you, including our guest tonight we're working with. So consider applying. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me. I'm happy to help with application material. I know that I think Squirky has already applied or has been working on an application, and we've been talking about it. So if you're interested, have questions, reach out to me to know, and then we can get you hooked up. All right.
Okay, how about a couple of jokes?
I have one that I'm going to do
Okay.
first. And that's the only one I have. And it's, why did the Rhinos credit card get canceled? Because it was charging too much.
Boo.
Oh, not that Houston Zoo. Years ago. It was on the wall in the bathroom.
Okay, policeman in a big city stops a man in a car with a goat in the front seat. He says, "What are you doing with the goat?" And the guy says, "I don't know. We're just driving along." The policeman says, "You need to take that goat to the zoo." So a week later, policeman pulls him over again. He says, "I thought I told you to take that goat to the zoo." He said, "I did. We had a great time, but today we're going to the beach." No. Okay, how about another one? A devout cowboy loses his favorite Bible while he's mending fences out on the range. 3 weeks later, a goat walks up to him carrying the Bible in its mouth. The cowboy couldn't believe his eyes. He took the precious book out of the goat's mouth, raised his eyes heavenward, and exclaimed, "It's a miracle." "Not really," said the goat. "Your name was written inside the cover." Amber is uniquely unimpressed.
Oh. Amber,
Okay, we'll move on. I got one more. Anybody want to hear one more, or should we move on?
why not? Then we'll do some.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Jacob's got one. What does the cop do when pulling over a U-Haul?
Us to move.
What do you call a minnow who suddenly stops swimming?
Menopause.
What do you call a goat who listens to country music? Billy Ray Cyrus.
Oh. All right.
Okay.
Thanks for that. I think I needed that. This feels like the end of the week. It's the beginning, but still needed it. All right. So we're going to do some quick project updates. I reached out to everyone and asked you to have someone prepared to speak in about 30 seconds, a minute. Just give everyone an update about what your project is doing and how things are going, plans for the semester. So we'll start with ATP.
Hey Trinity. So for ATP, we're actually getting off to a pretty good start. We're going to start not this coming Monday, but the Monday after is going to be our first session with one of our community partners. The other one is going to come up a week or two later. As of right now, we have 30 some students signed up with Austin High School and a little over 10 signed up with Breakthrough Houston. But they gave their students until I think next week to sign up. And so I'm expecting a couple more. And so it's looking like we're probably going to have about 50 students signed up for program. We got most of our curriculum set and finalized, and we're about to start with our mentor training.
Awesome, thanks, Ben. Impact.
So Impact is doing pretty well. It's now in its second week of mentoring with 25 students at KIPP Houston. So far it's all gone really well, and our mentors are doing a pretty good job adjusting to the new students. On the exec end, our focus is really just producing material for our mentors to work with to make their lives easier and correspondingly, hopefully, our results. We're also setting up with our second community partner and working on a cross-project collab with ATP for some training.
Great. Yeah, I love to see you guys working together. It helps that you guys are besties, but it's awesome. Fit.
Hello, everyone. Real fast, I'll introduce myself. I'm Brian Onkerst. I'm a new face for some of you, and that's because I'm actually an executive trainee, which is something really exciting that Fit has recently done. I'm one of the 2 trainees, just learning more about the project and Bonner in general. Our project just restarted a service at Riverside and Reeve, just helping out families, distributing food. Everything there's going really well and very calm as of now. We also restarted our project clubs. We have 4 clubs in the scheduling, social media, research, and marketing. And all just trying to get more members more involved, especially during COVID times, since not everyone can be in person. Also, last week, we just held their second pop-up shop with the Houston Food Bank, which was a really exciting event for us, where we had families pull up and we got them school supplies and hygienes. And it's also a really fun event, not just for people in Fit, but for all at Bonner. We had other Bonner people from different projects. We were very thankful for them. And we're also hoping to do it again, hopefully see some more new faces there as well.
Awesome. Thanks. Smart. And great. Sorry, Shalini.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So we're gearing up to start. This weekend, actually, we're going to be packing all of our experiment materials together. So if anybody's free Saturday at 4, I think, right, Michelle? Yeah, Saturday at 4. We will need help because we're doing twice the amount of experiments as we were last semester. We're very excited, a little nervous. We've changed our program structure a lot, so we're hoping it goes much more smoothly this semester, but hopefully we have more to report at the next rally.
Awesome. Thanks, Shalini. And then last but not least, we have WISE.
So a couple weeks ago, WISE had our mentor training where all of our mentors signed their contract again, committing to another semester of service. They learned about our curriculum and our plan for the semester, including our new weekly response forms. We held engagement meetings, which were led by Sharon, who is our ARC fellow. We received signups from all of our mentees, which is about 15 or 16 for this semester, set up our tutoring schedule, and had our first week of tutoring this week.
Yay, awesome. Great, thank you, Nicole. Okay, lastly, before we dive into our topic of the day, which is social responsibility and social action, we're going to ask Sarah Grace kind of on the spot to introduce our guests here today.
Sorry, I was just messaging in the group chat, but also everyone, please sign up for Bonner Appreciation Day event. You don't have to be in Houston to do it. We will figure out a way to send it to you guys, but please sign up because we want a big turnout for this. But does all the Women at Gold people have their cameras on? So essentially, since this summer, Shalini and Maritha and I have been working with Women at Gold to help teach Women at Gold about our different projects, and so they can learn how to incorporate service learning into their organization. And they've been talking to almost all the projects so far. They've come to Pantry with us last week and saw how that went. Women at Gold, do you guys want to explain a little bit about yourselves, or do you want me to explain?
I can do so. Hello, Bonners. Thank you guys for allowing us to kind of infiltrate in your meetings. Sarah Grace and Shalon, everyone has been just really great We've met with almost all of the projects and every meeting has gone really good. We've learned so much only in such a small matter of time. I know this partnership will continue for the rest of the semester and hopefully into the future. But Women of Gold is a women's empowerment organization here on campus, and we focus on 4 pillars, which is grace, optimism, love, and dignity. And we want to instill those in women all over campus from all cultures and backgrounds. We actually have some events coming up this week on Thursday. It's a self-care event for all the ladies that want to join. So sorry, guys. Other than that, we're just really appreciative to be here with you all and learning so much about our community.
Hopefully we'll be seeing more Women of Gold members into our projects later down the road, but this is a good start and I hope you guys get to talk to them eventually when we're more in person and at the different things they pop up in.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you, Sarah Grace. Hi. Okay. Well, we'll get started with our lesson. Like I said, we're going to talk about social responsibility and social action. If you guys will think back to the beginning of last semester when we introduced our 9 student learning outcomes for Bonner, one of them was social responsibility. And so that's what we're going to think about today. But one thing I wanted to emphasize with this is that most of our learning objectives are either skills or attitudes or beliefs that are aimed at an action-oriented perspective and approach to the world. And so social responsibility is a set of knowledge, beliefs, attitudes, which we want to learn to translate into social action. So we're going to kind of talk about the two. We're going to start with thinking about what social responsibility means in general and to ourselves. And then we're going to think about how social action really works. How do we really get involved and take action on the things that we care about? So first I'll ask if any of you guys want to pitch in and give your thoughts about what you think social action means. I'll get into some definitions in our rubric, but just thinking of it, what you've heard, what you know, what does social responsibility mean? I like a long pause. Anybody? Best shot? All right, I'll just talk. I am having trouble finding the right thing on my screen because I pulled up here it is. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. If you guys could see my desktop, you would understand why I have such difficulty finding the right windows, but hopefully I pull up the right one now and show you our rubrics. So social responsibility really gets at this idea that we individuals have responsibility to act in the best interests of society in general, and that our actions aren't totally about ourselves. It's kind of this idea that bounces between independent thought versus community good. And the idea of social responsibility indicates that we do have some responsibility to the people around us, to our communities, to the causes that we care about, to making the world a better place. I think this isn't unfamiliar to everyone here because that's what we're all about, really. But this is one of the things that's really important to the work of Bonner, and we think really important to citizenship and building a better world. So there's kind of different sides of social responsibility, and we'll get into some questions a little later about what this really means and break it down. But there are all kinds of social responsibility and questions about whether this is an individual thing. Does this apply to companies and corporations? I'm sure you guys can all remember Uber emailing you over the summer about how much they care about you during COVID and what they're doing to take care of you, or Target or various other organizations about the Black Lives Matter movements over the summer and emailing about their stances on these things. And so there's been a movement recently and in the past decades for companies to take a stance with regard to social responsibility, whether it be social issues, economic issues, financial. We're here more concerned with individual social responsibility and our collective social responsibility in our larger organizations like Bonner or any of the other things that we are associated with. And when we talk about social responsibility, what we mean is our notions of our own self-efficacy, the impact of our actions, how meaningful our actions can be, and our sense of responsibility to engage with our local, national, and global communities. So today we're going to focus really on the first two parts of these rubrics. As a little refresher, since it's been a while, these rubrics go by benchmarks and milestones and capstones. At the far right, we have maybe where you'd be when you're just starting to learn social responsibility. And on the end is where we want to be when we graduate, when we go out into the world. So the first two are what we're focusing on today, and it really includes this idea of social understanding. And this is the knowledge component. One thing we're trying to emphasize with all these learning outcomes is that there's a lot of groundwork to do beforehand before we can really act in the world responsibly and effectively. So social understanding includes a lot of things. This means intercultural competency, understanding of how complex issues are, you know, whether it's education inequality or food insecurity, understanding that this is a really complicated issue. It has a complicated history, a broad context, many different applications, lots of different factors contributing to it. And having some knowledge about how those things work. So we want to think about our social understanding. What issues do we care about, but also how do those things work and what do we need to know about them in order to take action? And then the second one that we want to focus on is our notion of self-efficacy and civic agency. And this is really something that's a little bit more inherent. It's something we can certainly cultivate. Some people have more of it than others at the beginning. Some people get more of it from interaction with certain people. I think you guys all have quite a good degree of self-efficacy because you think that your actions can be meaningful and you spend your time giving back to your community. But self-efficacy is this idea that it's not the attitude that, okay, I get one vote, what's that going to do? Doesn't make a difference. I can't change anything in society, in the world, in the economy, in the, you know, global climate change or anything like that. Self-efficacy, on the other hand, is the understanding that my actions do matter. I can make a difference in little and small, big ways, and understanding what that looks like. And civic agency, on the other hand, might be more related to the processes behind change, politically and non-politically. How can you make change? How can you work with others to make change? What are the processes that lead to effective social action? So that's what social action, or social responsibility rather, is in a nutshell. It's this understanding of issues, the concern about issues and the things going on around us, and paired with the notion that my actions matter and I can do something individually or collectively with other people that makes a difference. If I understand the processes and the issue and I get to work, my individual actions with everyone else's can actually make a difference. So that's the idea here behind social responsibility. All right. Any thoughts on this? Does this sound familiar? Have we heard this before? Is that why you guys are here? I'm stalling for a moment while I pull up my document because my internet crashed. Not my internet, my web browser. Doug, do you want to take us through this reflection part? What we want to do is have you guys reflect on your own notions of social responsibility. Like I said, people have different levels of social responsibility, and one of our jobs here is to cultivate that in you all. And you all have quite a bit of it, I think most of you, but we're all at different levels for various reasons, different backgrounds, and everybody has different thoughts about what they should do in the world or what things they care about. And so we want to ask you guys a few questions that get at what your own notions of social responsibility are. So I want to encourage everybody to get out a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil. And I have my document up now, so we're good. And I'm going to ask a few questions. I'll type them, I'll read them out, and then I'll type them in the chat. And I want to give everybody about 3 or 4 minutes to think about these and take some notes about your own thoughts about these questions. You won't send them to me. You won't like report on them to anybody. But I will ask a few people if they want to share their thoughts on them. So everybody has their paper out. The first one is, What does the way I lead my life mean for the lives of others? The second one is, how do my actions affect my community or those around me? And the third one is, how can I contribute in a meaningful way to create a more just, peaceful, and ecologically sound world? So I'm going to post these in the chat.
Just did.
Oh, good. So take a few moments. We'll keep our cameras on and just give it a second and take some notes about your thoughts on these. And there's no right thought. It's what you think about these questions. It's your own attitudes and beliefs.
And Women of Gold, we want to hear what your thoughts are about these two.
Give it another minute. Okay, I think most heads are up. All right, does anybody want to volunteer their thoughts on one or more of these questions? I can pick people and you can say no if I pick you, but it would be nice if we have some volunteers.
I volunteer.
Yay.
So I didn't get through all of the questions actually, and I'm still kind of fleshing out my thoughts, but the first question, the what does the way I lead my life mean for the lives of others? I thought that I can influence other people's decisions when they come to me for advice. So if somebody asks me whether or not they should do something, I can influence their decision by telling them my opinion on it. And then I also decided that I can determine whether or not a child who sees my actions, whether I know the child or not, will later reflect on me as either a good or bad role model or influence, because I know the people I've seen on the street when I was little, I either thought, oh, those are super cool people, or, oh, I don't want to be around those kind of people in the future.
Awesome. So Amber's thinking about this in terms of influence and example. Thank you. Anybody else on that question or another one? Yeah, Jacob. Jacob raises his hand on a Zoom call.
Oh, yeah, I hadn't finished all the questions either, but I did get to answer the first one. And I said I like to devote my life to transparency because that is like an explicit way to build trust in all my relationships.
Awesome. Jacob's thinking of this relationally. Anybody else?
I have, oh,
Yeah, please.
okay. I wrote down that because I don't exist on this planet alone, that any and everything that I do can either positively or negatively affect anyone around me. So I kind of said that I need to do things with positive intentions. And even if those intentions are seen as negative, it is my job to make sure that anyone I come in contact with is not seeing me as a negative influence on their life, but someone that they would want to be around and somebody that they feel they could trust and connect to.
Yeah, awesome. One thing you said made me think of the concept called the butterfly effect, which is this idea that a butterfly can flutter its wings on one side of the world and cause a tsunami on the other side. I think that's it, if I'm remembering correctly. This idea that one little thing here and all of its interactions with everything else in the world as it goes across can have a really big impact, that even the little things really do matter. Yes, thank you, Auburn. We're all on the same, some of us are on the same wavelength, and that's great. Some of us are on different wavelengths, and that's great. Yeah, so you guys are thinking of this a lot in terms of individual interactions, relationships, influence on others. Does anybody think about this in terms of concrete action with, you know, kind of collective action? Or are you thinking more in terms of the individual actions? Lauren, still raising hands.
I've had a lot of Zoom calls recently. I'm getting pretty used to it. But I guess I kind of think of it in that way. Whenever I read, especially the second question, I was thinking about the ideas of social wealth and finite wealth, basically saying that although money might increase, right? We might print more money. There's only a certain amount of wealth that ever exists in the world. That's why inflation exists, right? So that even if we print more, it still has the same amount of worth in the end. That way, thank you, Anne. But that way, there's always a level of inequality that will exist because as someone else gains power or money or an influence in that way, someone else kind of has to lose it because there's only so much that can go around. And then the idea of social wealth, meaning that every interaction we have has weight and has value and can be a positive or negative asset. And so on a collective scale, I think it's up to us as a community to make sure that we're not letting this inequality gap of any type get too large. And whenever we get something, we also have to give back in different ways, whether that be on this individual level that we really do here at Bonners and that a lot of people have been talking about, or on a higher scale.
Great, thanks. Awesome. Well, I want to thank everybody for sharing their thoughts. We're going to go through some questions to kind of flesh out what we think. I don't want to cut anybody off though. So does anybody else have something to share on this? Doug, any comments?
Great thoughts. I mean, anybody fired up to add something? Let's hear it. Great stuff.
Doug, you want to walk us through the breakdown and questions?
Yeah, here are a few more questions for you. And I'll, give you 30 seconds to think about it. And then let's go around the room and see what kind of list we come up with here. And as you say what your response is to this question, you'll need to gather a few because somebody ahead of you might grab the first one on your list or even the second one, and then give us a moment to catalog them. Yep, what kinds of action contribute to social action? So be specific. Tell us the kinds of actions that you could take here that would be that would involve you acting in a socially responsible way. give you 30 seconds. Come up with the best list you can, and then let's go around and catalog them. Okay, let's start going around. Shalini, so get ready. Be ready to click that mute button off and give us one. We're going to catalog them. Shalini.
My first thought was honesty.
Okay, we want actions. We want the things
Oh,
that you're
like
going to
being-
do. Yeah,
that
absolutely.
I'm going to do for sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Remember, in Bonner, we're action oriented. So we want to be able to translate the things we're doing into action. So you got one,
So-
Shalini?
Yeah, so one of the things I am committing to is making sure that I meet my deadlines ahead of time. And that's specific to the SMART project because I have a
Okay.
lot on my plate this semester, so I don't want to finish what's required of me at the deadline. I want to do it beforehand.
Great. Okay, we're going to move through them quickly. Great, Shalini. Sarah Grace, go.
So that was kind of what I was thinking, just because FIT has so much we want to do this semester, but also I think better organization is key to all that as well. But yeah, Shalini kind of stole mine.
Okay, come on, let's go through them. Kai, you got one for us?
Yes, I put that I could speak up for others, such as being an advocate in my community for other people.
Great, fantastic. Trinity, go.
Bouncing back, sorry, my mic's off and then it's not. I was just gonna say, we can think of this in larger terms, not necessarily what I'm gonna do with my service this semester, which is important. You know, I'm helping run this organization with you all, but other things that I could do could include donating to causes I care about, or
Okay, that's a good suggestion. Yeah, absolutely. Think about you personally, the actions you personally are going to take that are going to lead you to be socially responsible. Okay, Lauren, give us one.
I'm going to give more of my time and money on a grassroots community level.
Fantastic. Ms. Durham, go.
I kind of want to make a list of opportunities that we have here in the Valley that we could volunteer for, because I don't really know of any and I don't talk to anyone about it. So it'd be nice to start that.
Great. Jacob.
I wanted to start inviting friends to do more volunteer work, because like we've all talked about personal stuff, but
Great.
to contribute to social action, we can invite our friends to do these things.
Wonderful. Michaela.
I'm gonna be sorry. I'm trying to be more intuitive and like find more common ground between people, because I feel like I'm pretty quick to judge. Like I'm not gonna be a hypocrite and say that I'm not, but I think it's gonna be, especially like with times right now, I think it'd be really good to find common ground between people and be more empathetic. So.
Yeah. Mine is to do more in my community civic association. Okay, Shaloma, yours.
I put being more open to learning about people and understanding where they come from and how their experiences shape them as individuals.
Okay, great. Nicole.
I'm not only like educating myself, but educating those around me on important issues.
Okay, great. Ms. Tran.
Yeah, mine was similar to Nicole's. I just wanted to educate myself more, like read more articles and talk to people directly with like how things have impacted them in their personal lives.
Okay, great. Kenny.
Mine is more like project based, but I want like to gather effective data to see if we are really making a difference instead of just doing service for the sake of doing service.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds great. Jack, go through a few more real quick.
The question was the best action for social action, right?
The actions that you would take to be socially responsible.
I don't know. I think time or money are really what make things work in the world, and I don't have money, so I guess time for something I care about. There's this really cool service learning org in the Honors College. I don't know if y'all have heard about it, but I think I might join.
Shane, it's great. Thanks.
I put down that I'm going to try to partake in more mission projects via my church.
Wonderful. Fantastic. Let's get one more. Is it Kapinga? Chisea?
Yes, you said it correct. For me personally, I would like to donate my time more to the political scene and just donate my time to new politicians who want to advocate for the community.
Right. Yeah, great. Look, these are a great list you came up with. I would encourage you to search out your fellow Bonners, look in the world around you and be action oriented. Translate your instincts to those things that are going to be action oriented. So your thoughts alone are not going to make the world a better place. They may help in some ways, but you even yourself have to translate those into action. So the question is, what are you going to do? The list could be voting, recycling, protesting, writing congressmen, helping in a community organization. Why don't you build an organization yourself? A variety of things that you could do. So I hope we keep cataloging these and finding in Bonner that we are a source of inspiration for ourselves to go be action oriented, that we take this service spirit and a growth oriented mindset and a determination to not only fight poverty, but to make the world a better place and carry it on around us. Okay, the second question here is when should that responsibility be acted upon individually and when in larger groups? In other words, many of the things that you listed here are individual actions. And yes, we asked you for that, but when should your aspirations toward social responsibility lead you to seek greater work within groups to achieve your goals, or are they things that you can do by yourself? When individually and when in groups, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of each? But Lindsay, Auburn,